I became a prosecutor because I had a desire to work in public sector work. I love to help people and I love to work in my community. Before I went to law school, I worked in public service for about 8 years. I worked for the state government and I really enjoyed that work. So when I went to law school, my plan was to work for the legislature, and that ended up being quite boring. So I thought this was a good way to serve my community and work for the public without being bored. So the best part of being a prosecutor for me is that fast-paced environment. I love to be working, I love to be on my feet, I love to be going from one thing to another. I like a high-stress, fast-paced environment. So I really enjoy that part. Another really great part of being a prosecutor in my division is I get to work for and help kids and families, and I'm really passionate about helping kids, so I really enjoy that aspect of my job. One of the most difficult things about being a prosecutor, at least for me, is I do enjoy that fast-paced environment, that going from one hearing to a next. It's hard to shake off a loss. So if you have a bad hearing with an adverse decision and you are feeling a little shaky, you have to learn how to shake it off and go to the next thing and be your best. So that can be really hard, especially when you're new to the role. As an attorney, you get very passionate about your cases. So if you're, high passion and then you lose, it's really hard sometimes to kind of jump up and get back on the horse, but I'm working on it. It's also really hard to see some of the things that we see in our court. In my division, I see a lot of child abuse and neglect, and that can be really hard to see every single day. So you really have to learn how to separate your work life from your home life and create that barrier so you're not constantly thinking about your cases. Yeah, so one of the cases that impacted me the most is just recently. I had a child victim who was 15, and he had disclosed that he had been assaulted for a number of years by one of his parents. And it impacted me because he had the courage to come forward and tell someone what happened, and then he also was adamant about wanting to testify in court. And that's not something you commonly see for a victim. So being able to work with this young man and train and kind of prep him for court, work with him about what that would look like, and then to watch him get on the stand and be able to tell his story was really, really great to see. It's a sad situation, but whenever a victim can kind of take back what's happened to them and become empowered and take steps to advocate for themselves, I think that's always really great to see. And for someone so young, it was very impressive how mature and how well-spoken he was on the witness stand and just generally. So that case really sticks with me. Yeah, I think one of the biggest misconceptions the public has, especially now, is that the public thinks that prosecutors are resistant to positive change in the criminal justice sector. With everything that's been going on lately and with with the public's assertion that the criminal justice system needs to change, I think we can all get on board with that, and I think it's a misconception to assume that prosecutors are not willing to take steps that are necessary to improve the justice system. I think that that's important, and I think that's something that we're working on as an office, and I think that the public should know that we are trying to advocate for those changes and make positive change to the criminal justice system.